boy, and all of them come up too, because there's going to be a lot of jamming.
Yeah, I think they're figuring on coming.
Good. And I told him, some of these people, I said, you encourage, and I said, even though, so what it's doing good is to get some of these
We ought to
people.
sit in the kitchen, or we ought to sit in.
Whatever you want to do.
We got chairs in there.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'll go play in there.
Stand up.
No, I just didn't sit myself.
Well, that's what I thought.
It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make a bit of difference to me.
Oh, sit down. That guitar picker comes down. We sit down there in the trailer and play for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, well, I'm really getting rusty because I haven't played that much. Let's see how far off we are here. I may be way up. Hit your A.
That's it.
I'm up higher than you are. Let me come down. Okay.
That dulcimer, Aunt Martha run out there on the stage. She had her long dress on, drug the floor. She pulled it up over her knees and she cut a rusty there. Jig dancing. I couldn't even hear the dulcimer.
Here, let's see how we are now. Close enough.
You know the Rustic Dance?
Schottisch?
Yeah, I guess you are.
Rustic Dance. Yeah, Art played that.
I thought he played that.
Yeah, it's an old schottisch. Did you ever see him schottisch?
Oh, my mom and
A long
dad.
time ago, didn't it? Wasn't that a pretty dance?
My mom and
That's
dad.
just a shame that that's gone.
Yeah, nobody will try it. They're ashamed to get out on the
You
floor.
know what they'll do now when somebody plays a schottisch? They'll get out and do that Cotton Eye Joe two-step to it. They do down there at Ava. They know just you can do that two-step that they do to a schottisch. But the schottisch, do you ever see people schottisch? Pretty dance. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3 hop.
Was playing down
And
there.
they side by side, but the good ones will go all sorts of configurations, you know.
They had a USO down here during the war, and after the war they called it, what was that center they called it? Community center or something or other. We had dances there. And we was playing down there one night, and we was playing schottisch. Now a lot of them was out on the floor trying to do that. Directly the old Bauman's. He was up around 90 years old, and his old lady, I don't know, she must have been up close to it.
Yeah.
They hit that floor and showed them how to schottisch.
Well, that's a pretty dance. That's just too bad that they
don't know.
occasionally used to see an elderly couple get out between sets of the square dance down in here, and that's the only times I've ever seen it, really.
Well, down here, Old Hands, I was playing down there one night when George come up and asked me to play a schottisch. And they done a little schottisch. That's what I tell them. I said, I'll play it where I want to, and you play it where you want to.
And you play it the old way too, because you know bluegrass is all both that minor part. You know, the old timer didn't do that.
I played an A now. Bluebird.
Bluebird, okay.
Bluebird Waltz.
Monty played that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Monty.
Yeah. I'll get the dulcimer out now.
Okay.
I like to play the dulcimer.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously, despite the fact that you got kind of turned in another direction as a kid, you obviously took up the fiddle eventually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went to work on it too.
Yeah.
Well, some said they put them under the bed, leave them, but I went back after them. When she told me she'd learn me to play the dulcimer, I went after it.
Wait a minute. What's that one you play I like? It's in G, I think. It's kind of like Rocky Road to something, or
Oh,
hold
God.
down.
I don't know.
I can't think of what that one is. You played it up on Walnut Street. First time I ever heard you play it. Oh, you got the fiddle. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Kind of a fast hold down, but it's in. I think it's in G. Pretty sure it was.
wouldn't be slow slip sugar in the coffee spout.
Did you get that title?
No, but would you say that again?
Sour slip sugar in the coffee spout. How in the devil can I find it out? Sour slip sugar in the coffee spout.
No, but that's good. That's close enough. That's close enough.
That's one of my mom's old tunes.
Is that an old fiddle? You had that a long time?
Yeah, my granddad ordered that from Germany.
I'll be darned.
He ordered all his stuff from Germany.
Back when you could do that.
He made his own violins too. And I was going to tell you, it was one of them dulcimers when he was in the pen for a short time, and he didn't need to be doing it, but he done it for a hobby, steal chickens, and he was drawing $135 a month off of the wars, and times was hard then.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much money, but that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do that, but they sent him to penitentiary either a year and 1 day or 2 years, a short time. But he made his dulcimer while he was up there and his fiddle. Well, they stayed up there. They was there in 1934. My aunt come down on the river and said, "Now, Bill, I played on your granddad's dulcimer and said it's about due for you to get it up there if you want it." Well, it didn't go up. Well, after Kit Bond went up there and Ashcroft, it disappeared. Now, which one?
Oh, that's the one that was up in the Capitol,
That's
wasn't
the
it?
one that's in the Capitol. Now, I asked Mel about it. Now, Mel said there's a lot of stuff stored away over there in the museum. Said it could be over there.
Yeah, it's too bad Roy Blunt isn't still up there. He was in charge of all that stuff, see?
Well, now,
His
he
department
told me that there was a Blunt that
Yeah,
took care of all
but he's
of
now
that.
up at Southwest Baptist College.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's going to be running again, I imagine.
Well, if your granddad ordered that from Germany, that would have been before the turn of the century?
I'd say it's in 1800.
1800.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'd be amazed at the age of some of these fiddles these fiddlers play.
Huh.
You know, I had one here. Now, I've got one out there. I'll get it showed to you directly. When I was 4 years old, my mom and dad took covered wagon, went to Hartville. They used to have a nigger festival over there every year, 4th day of
Yeah,
August.
Hartville had a lot of blacks there.
Yeah, every 4th day of August they had a festival.
Emancipation Day.
And Mom would sit out there and play the fiddle for the merry-go-round, for the music. Didn't have music then, but merry-go-round. I was small, but I can remember that was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, here, you want to just play in here at the stand?
I'll get it, bring it in.
Okay. Before you leave, we'll get one of them.
She was raised up as a Richardson, and the reason my granddad was left along the road by the Indians, and some people picked him up and raised him under their name, Richardson. But when he went to Civil War, they traced it down, and his name was John Mawhee.
M-A-W, how you spell that? M-O-W or M-A-W?
M-A-W, I believe. Mom, come here.
Don't bother, that's okay.
Why, she ain't done nothing. Can't think to say.
How old is that dulcimer?
His back there too.
Was it?
It says in there, now, I was called down to the school of Ozarks. They got one down there. And they kept a-calling me to come down and identify it. Now, it come from Mike Martin's music store, and I'll tell you a little story about it directly. But she kept calling, sent me passes to get in. So I went down, and she took me up here, showed me where the stuff was at, and said, "I'll be back in a minute." So we was going along there, and there's my granddad's dulcimer, and I just, big sign there said, "Don't touch nothing." You know where that Foster's Museum's at?
Oh, yeah. Well, was this Janelle Dusenberry?
Huh?
Was this a young girl?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. How many years ago was this?
It's a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I bet
3.
that's Janelle Dusenberry. I know
I
her.
imagine. But anyway, I just reached over and got it and stand there looking at it. When she come back, I said, "What information do you want me to give you on this?" She said, "Could you tell me who made it and when it was made?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Everything's on it." "Oh, no," said, "I've combed that from head to toe." Said, "There's nothing." But you look down in here, there's a bridge right across there. Now, they don't put the bridges in these things anymore. They make them down there, and there's no ribs. They're an empty box.
Yep.
Well, there's a bridge in there, his name, and he patented on it, right here in Conway.
So now this one also came from Germany?
No,
No.
he made this
He
right
made
here in
it.
Conway,
He
Missouri.
did, okay. Your grandfather.
Yeah,
And what was his first name?
John
John.
Mawhee.
M-A-W-H-E-E.
Yeah. And now, who he raised him, they called him Bill Richardson.
Yeah.
But his original name was John Mawhee. Give me that third string open. Right here, that third string, just pick it.
I can change. Now you got it.
You make me think of, I started to play up here at the Folk Like Festival in St. Louis, and the gal was hard me up there. I said, you're going to be playing in a dulcimer shop here at 2 o'clock. Well, 1:30 men Viv played 15 minutes. Well, I was standing there waiting for time to play, and she said, now you're going to be playing in a dulcimer workshop. Well, I was looking for another dulcimer. Directly as pickup come down through there and stopped and unloaded the box. Pickup went on, the guy come out, stand there, open it up. I seen he needed a little bit of help. Well, I never was no guy, if you need a little help, stand there. If you let me at all, I'll stand and help you. So I went over and asked him, and he said, yeah, I could use a little help. So we opened that box up, pulled that thing out, and he carried it in there and set it down. Come time for us to play, that was what I was going to play, a hammer dulcimer.
Hammer dulcimer, yeah.
So I went in there, and he said, I've got a bunch of strings here. He said, could you tune with me? I said, yeah, if you'll give me a key to tune to. He said, don't know where to hit it. So directly I said, well, I'll play, and then you play.
Yeah, yeah. You tune two to drone, don't you? Two the same, and then this third one
Yeah.
you note on.
These two is just alike.
Yeah, that's
And all three strings are alike.
yeah.
Some said, oh, you got to have that big string over here.
Whichever way you play. G, there we are, one G, okay.
Are we in tune together?
Yeah. Yep.
Hit that again. Seems like I have a hard time.
I already got it.
We still ain't tough, Gordon.
Are we?
Little bit of gold rush now.
Okay. Good enough. That's okay. That's fine. Sounds good to me, G. Was this an old ironing board frame or?
Well, and all the kids made that. You know, I was packing that other desk
Yeah,
around. You
yeah, the
seen
great
me.
big one, yeah.
And they
wood.
made this board up to cabinet shop, and then they bought this deal. I come off the stage in Memphis, and some gal out there in the crowd hollered and said, would you sell your ironing board?
Yeah.
Well, that's a turkey,
That's a turkey quill, a feather out of a turkey wing, and this is just a little piece of wood, hardwood.
any particular kind?
Well, it should be hard, so it won't. This ain't as hard as it ought to be, but you see, you'll cut a groove in there.
Uh-huh.
That's the reason I want a hard one. But, yeah, well, it's the best, I've had the best results out of them, and I left over at Atwell's, the last one I made. An old white oak post been in the ground for years, and split it and get a piece out there. That's tough.
Now, is he still playing?
Yeah,
Good.
They was over not too long ago.
Good. Well, that's
And that
good.
little boy, I'm proud of him. He's about 11 years old now, and he learned it. And he's playing it out to his
Good.
church.
Well, that's good.
They're Nazarenes.
Yeah, yeah, I knew that. I remember you telling me.
Now back in the days of my childhood, one evening when everything was still, I used to sit and listen to the folk sounds with my dad in a motory hill. Oh, I'm on my way to the old home and roam and joy of that hill. That light is shining in the window, it's shining in the home where I live. Now soon my childhood days are over, and I had to leave my old home. My dad and mother were called to heaven. Now I'm down in this world all alone. Oh, I'm on my way to the old home and roam and joy of that hill. There's a light is shining in the window, it's shining in the home where I live. Now high on the hill, old Missouri, there's where you'll find my memory. I'm on my way to the old home, that light's still shining there for me. Oh, I'm on my way to the old home and roam and joy of that hill. There's a light is shining in the window, it's shining in the home where I live.
Good enough.
Show you what that gal traded me. She
What's the name of that one, Bill?
on can't think. That gal was here. You sent her
Well,
here.
Yeah.
She had that out on the table, and I said, I've looked and looked and looked for one of
little
them, but I
tiny
said,
one.
one a little smaller it had, some gal had it in Alaska here on the table. And I said, I'd like to have one of them, but I said, I wanted one a little smaller. Well, she didn't say anything. Next morning, she was up there around the junk, brought down a hubcap down out here. She come in and said, I got a trade made for you. And I said, what do you got now? Said, I'll trade you that tape for that hubcap.
Is this the girl from the National Geographic? Wasn't her. It wasn't the girl from the National Geographic, was it?
That one was here from, you sent it.
Yeah, from National
Yeah.
Geographic. Stayed all night out here by the
Maryland.
pond.
Maryland.
No, this girl's name was Lisa.
I mean, she's
Lisa.
from Maryland. ain't
Well,
she?
yeah, Washington D.C.
Yeah,
right in
yeah.
there. Yeah, Lisa. Okay. Well, I'll bet you came out good there. Then I just put that there. Yeah, you found tapes for that, haven't you?
No, she
I can
left
get you.
me. She
I can
left
get
me
you
a
tapes
tape.
for it.
She left me a tape. I just wondered where I'd get
Oh, I
one.
can get you tapes for those.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd take it with me someday or another on
Yeah.
trips.
Yeah. No, I can get you tapes for those. Now, before we leave, I'll write down, make sure that brand and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Sony. See, that traded you a Sony. 1 inch.
What kind of hubcap was it?
He's on one of the old cars that I sold up here. I
Nice.
don't know, Chevrolet or something other. It's kind of unusual. I think I got some more up there, but it's round and comes up here in the middle. I think it's kind of unusual. She probably knows what she's looking for, but I didn't. I didn't care that.
I'll be.
Listening at them, and when she said, "Now you learn to note that before you learn to whip it." And the first tune that I was playing, I won't be too good. Well, I mean, it wasn't too good then. But here's the first tune that I learned to play. I heard them playing it under the tree out in the yard.
What's
Then
the
the next,
do you know what the name of it is?
South Slip Sugar and a Coffee.
Oh,
I played it a while ago on the fiddle. And then this one, you'll probably know what it is. I heard them playing it, and I went in the house and got the dulcimer out, or the cane, it wasn't called dulcimer then, and got it out and went to playing it. What you used to be, she ain't what you used to be, she ain't what you used to be, the old gray mare, she ain't what you used to be, many long years ago, many long years ago, many long years ago. Now the old gray mare come a kicking at the swing tree, kicking at the swing tree, kicking at the swing tree, the old gray mare come a kicking at the swing tree, many long years ago. Now that's the second tune I learned to play, and I learned to play the notes, and now this one's a little bit different. Elijah Jane, I heard them playing it on the fiddle, and they really woke the fiddle some. Oh, she said, "Now wait a minute, son." I said, "I'm going to have to show you how to use that." Now, what you do, you turn that wrist loose. And don't you hold this feather solid out here. If you do, you'll break it. I just burnt one the other day. A gal tried to play it and broke it. But said turn that loose and let it limber. So this is the way it started. 16 or 17, well, he says go blind. I'm going down that rocky road to see that gal of mine. When she saw me come on, she wrung her hands and cried. She said I was the sweetest thing that ever lived or died. Around me like grapevines round the gum. She said I was the sweetest thing that ever winter come. sugar by the pound, great big bowl, cut it in, and pretty gal pass it round. Now when up on the meltdown, get my horn to blow, I thought I heard my Liza say, "There comes my bow."
Good enough.
That's good.
Now, you used to play at church a lot too, didn't you?
Oh my! I could tell you a good story about that. Back in 1934, Dad moved down on the river. If you don't mind me telling you.
No, go ahead.
No,
No, that's
And,
fine. That's fine.
We moved down on the river, and I teamed up with some boys, and one of them had a violin, and one had an old guitar, and a mandolin one played. And we got to playing around for parties, and picked up and got playing pretty good. And these brush harbors moved in. Rough times back then. Wasn't no money. And I was packing feed for Miss Hornsinger for 35 cents a day for daylight till dark. Well, these brush harbors moved in, and any way you went, they'd see a brush harbor on the
Yeah.
corner. Well, this big one was down 32. It's church house now. Preacher come down one day and asked us to come up and play a few numbers. Well, didn't know many hymns, so we got together and learned a few hymns and went up there and went to playing. We played along a few nights, and the members didn't have no money, but they cut little poles and come and build a little stage for us.
Mhm.
Well, this sawdust floor, you know, they had a big sawdust floor in these brush harbors. It was a big one. So a bunch of the teenagers, girls and boyfriends come and joined. And they decided to get the Holy Ghost. Well, I didn't know what the Holy Ghost was either. So they was doing their hand up here in their head, twisting their mouth, and I didn't know what was going on. I was planning to take this whole world but give me Jesus one night, and they was down this sawdust digging. Some of the boys said, "I heard they're trying to get the Holy Ghost." Well, anyway, some of the girls' dress got a little too high for the preacher's wife. She went and got some blankets and spread over them. Put some over the boys too. I was standing up there playing, singing that, "Take this whole world but give me Jesus." My mom's sitting back over here. Well, just there one gal got her head out from under the blanket, had it up here and there, and her hand up here twisting it. And her boyfriend, he tore the things up. He thought he'd be smart. He pulled his hand out from under that blanket, took her in the face, a handful of sawdust. Well, she lost her religion, for she come out from under that blanket. She come out from under that blanket and went to kicking him. The poor fella had to get up and leave.
Yeah.
And I got so tickled, Gordon, I couldn't play. And I tell you, it tore me back a little bit. But when I went back to play, I couldn't play for laughing. Well, after it was over with, my mom come across, never cracked a smile, walked up to me. I said, "Mom, what's the matter with you?" She said, "Son, I'm ashamed of you." I said, "What? Why are you ashamed of me for?" She said, "Stand up there on the stage and laugh like you did, make a fool out of yourself. Said, ain't you ashamed?" I said, "Mom, it's too good. I couldn't get mad."
That would be funny.
I never will forget that.
Why, you couldn't forget that. That'd be hard to forget, I'll tell you.
Ooh, boy. Anyway, our granny woman lived up here a mile, and they lived in two little log houses, no floor in them. Her and her husband.
What was
And
their
she
name?
was
Do you remember?
Hazes.
Hazes.
And she was hair-lipped,
Mm-hmm.
and you could lay your thumb up here.
Uh-huh.
If she was so
Oh.
hair-lipped, she was a worker and a good cook. But I've seen her old man come in to the table and fill his plate up and turn his back to her while he eat. Now, she had a face that wouldn't bleed. Well, out here in the field, they dug a hole in the ground, walled it up with some rock, and put a pole top on it, and that's where they got water. And you know why they went a ways out from the house? They didn't have an outhouse.
Yeah.
They went out there and dug a hole. But anyway, she was out there one hot summer day, and there wasn't too much water through the country then that year, dry. And she was out there getting a bucket of water, and they carried a dipper in her bucket. There was a salesman come by. He walked up there, seen her out there, and he stopped in the shade of a tree, and he seen her getting a bucket of water, or getting something out there. But anyway, she come up, set her water down in the shade. He told her who he was, and she told him her name. They stood there and talked quite a little bit. And she said, I caught his eye. She wasn't no dummy. I said, I caught his eye. He looked at that bucket of water and then he looked at me. She said, look at that bucket of water. And he won't drink that water. But he looked at that bucket of water and then he looked at me. And she said, I caught his eye. I said, I know what he was up to. So directly he said, he had a smile on his face, she said. He looked down at that bucket of water and said, I'll take a drink of your water, ma'am, if you don't care. She said, go ahead. Couldn't hardly talk. She said, go ahead and help yourself. So he reached down and got that dipper of water. He thought he had it all figured out where he could drink out of that dipper and not be able to put in his mouth where she put hers. That's what he was up to. But he turned that pier, put his mouth on that handle up on top, drinking this way. Second swallow, he said, she said, huh, fella, said, you drink this like I do.
Sing one with him while you're standing there.
Yeah, come on. Here, come back here. We'll tell a story and then we'll sing this one.
Oh.
You know that gal come down here and took lessons from me. We argued all winter. And at the end of it, she brought me a record to kind of sweeten me up and had some songs on it. And I learned some of them. Now, this one particular one I liked, and I had needed something to go in front of it. What do you call it, Mom?
An introduction.
Yeah.
That's your story too long, W.R.
Anyway,
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, I needed something to go in front. I couldn't figure out. And one day it got so hot around here, man, oh man, it turned off hot. And the chickens all got up and went to the barn. And I come in and griping to her about it. And I said, we're going to have to do something about the chickens. They've all moved to my barn. She said, maybe if we take your tools. Now, she'd been my carpenter ever since we've been married. And she said, maybe we go get the tools and go down and lower the chicken roost in the chicken house, and maybe the chickens would move back. Well, I went and got the tools, and we met down there and went to work. She said, now she all the time showed me what to do. Said, you cut this off out here, and take a hammer and take that loose over here. And said, you give me that nail bar, and I'll get behind and take that timber loose and get a hold of them nails and back them out. Said, we won't be but a minute, and we'll be back in the house with air conditioner. Well, that sounded good to me.
Yeah,
Well, it was hot.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Anyway, we went to work, and she got over behind there and got the timber pulled back. And she got a hold of that nail and went to pull, and she pulled and pulled. Then she turned around and looked at me so funny. I didn't say a word. Kept working. And she said, now, hey. She reached back up, got a hold of that bar, and went to pulling some more. She pulled and pulled, and Rex, she turned around and looked at me. And I said, what's the matter with you, Mom? She said, I've not got strength to pull that nail. I said, well, I'm about done out here. You get out here and finish this and let me back there. So she crawled out and under there and went to crawling out. She hung the bar up here on the roof. Got about halfway out, she went to singing. Here's the song. Don't you see that lonesome dove flying from pine to pine? It's mourning for its own true love, like I would mourn for mine. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are old. All the good times are past and gone. Little darling, don't you weep no more. It's taken away my own true love and never return again. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are old. All the good times are past and gone. Little darling, don't you weep no more.
That's great. That's
You won't
great.
let me sing the verses with you.
Well, we get mixed up.
Oh, that's all right. That's like Lonnie and Thelma. Thelma said Lonnie used to get out there and they'd be singing on stage and he'd change the words. Right in the middle of a tune, he'd suddenly put in some new words and said, there she was trying to figure out what he was doing.
Eat the ham hog.
So maybe it's best that
It's the best
You're
thing
playing
you
with
play
him.
because he gets it mixed up.
Play the Now Sleep Tomorrow Night Nation. Play it.
I said sore throat this morning. I couldn't.
Oh, well, here, you don't feel
Well,
like
I couldn't, Gordon, I couldn't have sung that Monday.
I tell you, this year's been real
I
bad
don't know
on
what
all
was wrong,
this.
but
We rode
that's
Sunday
our
in the
junk
car.
cars. Probably bringing me out of it.
And riding in the car with the
Windows down.
windows
Yeah,
down, I
yeah,
get all jammed.
yeah.
You want it lowered? No,
Yes.
you're not lowered. You ought to grow taller.
Oh, that's a nice stand.
Is that too low?
Ten where I used to play with.
You're doing good. You were with it.
Fingers are cramping.
Oh, I thought you'd gotten.
I was getting mixed up there because they're not
Put
moving
your
fast enough.
oranges in them. You won't listen to them.
You see a model number on there.
You need dinner with us.
Oh, we're gonna have to head back. I gotta get back to work here before too long.
What are you working at it?
Springfield
You
Blueprint.
be sure to leave us that address and where he's at.
I'll send that to you. I don't have it with me now, you know.
Oh,
I have
you
to,
don't?
and I forget his new
Yeah,
address.
I
The
know.
girls have it where they send the bills.
We're going up,
Did
Brian.
they have-
We'll give us your address. We'll find you.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Well, sit down. What I was wondering about their family, did they have any children?
Yeah, got two,
Had two,
boy and a girl.
a boy and a girl.
And the girl, let's see, the boy's been married now, Ernie Jr. Been married, oh gosh, 6, 7, maybe years, I don't know. And I think he has one child. And then the girl she got married about 5 years ago or so. She married a Toombs, who have quite a big business up there, you know. Don't put it up yet though, Bill, because he's gonna want to take your picture.
Yeah, I would like to. What
Wanna
what
move in
kind
the
of,
living room?
actually,
Yours better?
I brought color. I'd kind of like to go out and get some natural
Oh, okay.
light. What, you know what kind of wood went into that?
Yeah. Waltz cherry and apple tree and the top spruce pine.
They had one little girl. Was she older than
See, the reason,
Oh, the boy's older.
the boy?
What kind of pine? Spruce?
Bit-
spruce pine,
Spruce
yeah.
pine.
Tops
Vivian.
all music. See, his guitar is spruce pine.
Oh, your
Top
name's
of it.
Vicky.
I'll tell you about what my granddad said
No, I
about
can't do that terrible, I
this.
can't remember the name. But anyway,
He's got a hard piece
they
of
have two
wood to the
children,
bottom.
and I think one or two
Spruce pine
grandchildren.
is softer wood. And your music
And
goes
young-
down and
young
bounces
grandchildren.
back in
That
that
children didn't
softwood.
get
That
to-
brings a
Ernie's-
tone.
Huh.
Ernie must be 71, 72.
Now,
something
most
like that. He
people, when
must
they
be in
think of
his
dulcimer, they think of hammer
Hammer
dulcimer.
And,
See
so
that-
these,
And this is a
After
completely different
but,
instrument.
Yeah, after I come
and
from
they were-
St.
these
Louis,
children,
tell my
let's see,
son what I
Ernie
got
Jr.'s
into it,
probably-
where that hammer down some more. He went down to Branson, he
Oh.
picks it up and sings too.
middle
He
40s.
went down to Branson,
Early
there was a
middle
gal
part, and the
playing,
girl's
he
just
bought
about 2 or 3
one
years
for
Now,
her.
they've got,
Oh,
A
I'll
lot
be sure.
more
I'll
strength.
give that address
Yeah,
and everything.
32.
I'll call.
And I went over there and
When
I
my
could
grandpa was
whistle
there,
turkey in the straw and he'd say,
he
lay his
didn't hear
guitar
we had
down and
cooking.
got hammered
But
down
then
for
when he
him to
got
play
to-
it.
when you were talking
But they
earlier
were
about
farming.
when you first started playing, you
See
were
it
thumping
out
it, that was
there.
meaning
They
you're
took
using
it
your
to
thumb as
Springfield.
opposed to using the quill.
Stayed it on the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
And of
You
course,
call that, they used to be called a cane.
Yeah.
back then,
Cane,
they were
I grew up, never knew what a Dulcimer was, so they went to making them down in
And-
Yeah.
Arkansas.
just about every Saturday.
Never knew what a Dulcimer was. Never heard of it, only a hammer
Well, before
Dulcimer.
that. of course,
Now, the
they did
university
that.
has traced it, some said, oh, said them come from old
And
country and they
usually about
traced it where
6 or 8
there's a hammer Dulcimer.
Four older ones did
Yeah.
that.
But now these, now he come back from the Civil War with a
But it
little
was-
stick with notches on it.
Yeah, I did.
And went to make
All
it.
the cousins
I'll be darned.
together.
Yeah,
That's your
and-
grandfather.
That's my granddad.
And you said that.
He's your first cousin.
That he was also known, in addition to his real name, he was known as, was it Bill Richardson?
Yeah, he was raised as Bill Richardson, but his original name was John Mawhee.
Now let me tell you where I first saw him, and I didn't even know it until years, well, in here, in the last 5 years or 6 years or so. There was a program on TV when KY3 first started, one of the best programs there ever was. It's called Search for Talent.
That was Curly Fox.
Yeah, it's called Search for Talent. And one night I watched a guy on
I'll be
there
darned.
I don't,
playing what he called his Indian walking cane or Indian
Right.
cane. I forgot what, and he had a young girl playing the
That's
guitar with
your
him.
That's the one that-
Imagine.
That's neat.
And I remember right in the middle of it, she said, "Oh, whoop it, Daddy." And you told me that was in the early 50s, wasn't it?
as,
When they first started
I
TV.
tell you, that was,
You were getting ready to go to Alaska, you told me,
Yeah.
or something.
had to been, it was either 54 or 55.
Yeah. See, that's when that program was on. That was a good program. I wish we still had something
You
like
know, they
that.
called for me after I left. When they first called me, I said, they give me a 6 months ahead date. I said, I won't be there, so I was going to Alaska.
What were you gonna do in
Well, then they
Alaska?
cut it down, huh?
What were you gonna do in Alaska?
Heavy construction. He cut it down to 3 months. I said, I won't be there. And they kept cutting it down to be next week. I said, I'll be there.
And when I used to tell people about that, and I'd say, it looked to me like, I didn't know what a dulcimer was.
I'm
then,
76. I'll be
I
77.
said, it looked to me like he'd taken the
Born
top of a
1970.
bass fiddle, is what I thought, and had cut it off. I said, it looked like he took, you know, well, I didn't know what a dulcimer was or anything then, you know.
Well, now you
But
see.
that's the first time, and I was just sitting here one time when we were playing, and it just suddenly it clicked in my mind,
Yeah.
you know. And I remembered that must have been Vivian, his daughter, who was a teenage girl,
Yeah,
and you know.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But see, when he come back from war, when he was in the war, he played the fiddle for they had parties.
hmm
And some of them had an old guitar. Now this was a story that come back. Had an old guitar, and some of them got too much booze, and they whooped somebody over the head with the old guitar and broke it all at the neck. And he fixed up a pattern there at the back, some way or another, and knowed it with a stick, and made an instrument to play
Yeah.
second with the fiddle.
Now, was your grandfather wearing blue or was he wearing gray?
He was fighting for the North. I can't tell you which. That's where he got his pension from.
Now, do you tell Mike about the preference on these turkey quills? You just don't go out and pull a feather off a turkey.
Oh,
You do it.
I'll put this up.
No, no, go.
I like a tail feather or a guinea feather.
Yeah.
Because they're lighter.
I had a picture I was looking for the other morning of the Dulcimer and the girls. He made it for her, and him and the two girls, but
I'll show him. That's in that little booklet. And you put out a little booklet
Yeah.
some years ago about the Masters, Missouri Masters or something.
Yeah.
And that picture's with your grandfather and those two
Girls
neighbors,
sit-
yeah, sitting there playing.
one of them was. This was made for one of them.
Well, I'll be.
Right
I'll
here,
show that
Conway.
later.
Right here, Conway.
Tell me about how you go about getting the turkey quilt.
All right, you take after you kill a turkey, you take the feathers, and it's best, now don't laugh at me, it's the best to take the left wing of a turkey feather. Get them, so they're curved just a little bit different. Now, they ain't you can play with either one, they ain't a whole lot of difference.
Yes,
But
there
my
is.
granddad-
Stay in your hand there.
My granddad said it's the best, and he's the one that invented this here, for he didn't have no plastic back when this was made to whip it with. And he needed something to whip it with, so he invented it, feather.
But Vivian doesn't think quite that way. She likes a guinea feather, don't you?
Yeah, she
I like a lighter.
played like that.
Just like this is a medium pick, and some people like a
Got
real
mad at me
flexible
up on-
pick.
Got mad at me up on the stage because I told him she was playing with a guinea feather.
Used to hold it up so straight that he'd eat the whole
Yeah,
thing through with that old stick
yeah,
pick that he was doing that way with. But see how he's doing.
yeah. Just on one side they're starting to. Well, here we need to.
Now this here's a kind of unusual tune. You play with me. My dad was a tomato canner, and sometimes he'd have the girls to come in and labor tomatoes out at the factory, his peelers. And he'd always give them the opportunity. Well, they'd write something down. I wasn't very big then. They'd write something on this tomato can, and I couldn't figure out what the heck they was putting on there. Well, one day I caught my sister running to the chicken house to get the eggs, and they were writing on the eggs. And I said, well, what the heck's going on? I discovered one day that they was putting them addresses on there, and them eggs were going to market, and them tomatoes was going to market, and they was going away, and boyfriends answered them.
I see.
Get new boyfriends. So one day there's a guy come down to our house and rode the train down from St. Louis. He got off and walked across. The girls went and hid. My brother, he invited him in. Mom was getting dinner. Well, he wasn't going to eat dinner, but my oldest brother said, yeah, you walked a long way. He said, you're going to eat dinner with us. So they made him eat dinner. After they eat dinner, they went, I bet that's that picture, Mom. After they eat dinner, he went in, my brother did, and got the fiddle and went to plant. The girls got the guitar, banjos out and went to plant. And they called on this old boy to sing a song. And that's the way it went. I wanted my dulcimer a minute. This is the way it went. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
Let
it.
me have this just a minute.
You want a candy?
Now this is his song that he sung. And he got down on the floor. I won't forget it. Now I don't remember all the verses, but he got down and marked it down.
Here you go.
I was down to the depot the other day when the train came whistling by. I looked through the train and saw the woman I loved hung down my head and cried. Hang down my head and cry, poor boy, hang down my head and cry. I looked through the train and saw the woman I loved hung down my head and cried. Mama called me to her dying bed, said, won't you listen to me, son? You better quit your gambling or run away. They'll send you to the penitentiary. They'll send you to the penitentiary, poor boy. They'll send you to the penitentiary. If you don't quit your gambling or run away, they're gonna send you to the penitentiary. There's more of it.
Yeah.
But that's one
I
of
heard you sing that.
that's one of the songs, and I sung it up. Got quite a hand up to
Yeah.
Capitol the other day. I tried to fit in something for the
Yeah.
penitentiary.
Well,
you know.
you're right next to it.
Yeah.
Just down the
Right
street
up there
from
next
it.
to it. Yeah, right up there next to it.
Well, can we go out in outside light and take a couple pictures?
Yeah, you want this?
Yeah, I think so.
Bring the fiddle, don't do her, or just this. I guess you was gonna play it too.
Yeah, let me get Doris's here and bring put this. Well, you bring it up. First, I'm gonna put this up. It's good without me. That's where I put my guitar. Yeah, all my grandson loves to do it. Just loves it. Who? You grandchildren. You have how many? You got 6? 8? Boy, they multiply in a hurry, don't they? I went to services for real dear friend of ours down in County. Who was a
Senior citizen, but
Yeah.
different band.
Oh, yeah.
Country cousins. We come up there and there was 2 or 3 people over 100 there.
Oh, you know, when this girl was coming from Nancy, one person I was going to have her interview. If she'd have been 2 months earlier, she could have. She broke her hip. She's still living by herself and still making garden and everything. She was 107. And she broke her hip in that did it, you know. But she had a had a woman next to her in the other room. There's 107 too.
Well,
So maybe we'll.
I think
When you gonna come down and play all day with me?
I'm going to. I'm about ready to get out of work.
I tell you, my good guitar picker comes every Monday night, Gordon. We play right down on
Well, I'll just come down.
every Monday night. Then on Thursday night, he goes over Long Lane. I ain't been over there in quite a while.
I should get you both to listen to you.
Can you look in that thing?
take it, let's take
Here,
a step
grandson.
this way to
Get him
get
in
fully
the
in the
picture.
shade. The sun is a little bit on Doris's face. It makes it
put
look a
this
little
right out
splotchy,
here.
that's good.
I see a 40 close.